Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
This hour is sponsored by Better. Better Picks, the daily fantasy sports app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Download Better. Visit better.app now. Sign up today. Free money. No deposit necessary. BETR. Better.app now.
And more best bets now as we head out to the Progressive Guest Line as VSiN host Mike Somich joins the program. Ready, set, bet on the weekends, but also twice a week with the Sharp Money podcast available wherever you get your podcast. Mike, good afternoon. Let's begin with a team that you're going to buy a little bit low on right now, and it's the champs, Philadelphia, at this price right now. 1.5-point favorites against Minnesota. They have extended rest. The Vikings off the bye as well. But why do you like the Philadelphia Eagles here in this game?
Yeah, look, the rest kind of cancels each other out. You do have the Vikings off the bye, but you're coming off a pretty brutal Thursday night loss to the Giants for the Eagles. You're going to get an extra motivation from the Eagles off of that loss. But to me, this is about the quarterback position for the Vikings. As late as Tuesday, we were hearing press conferences from Coach Kevin O'Connell where he was talking about, well, you know, we don't know who our starter is going to be. Wentz has a shoulder problem. J.J. McCarthy went in for a second opinion. He's 4 to 6 weeks on his ankle. Then you have the OC come out and talk a lot about Max Brosner. That just tells me that this is a real injury for Carson Wentz, who did get announced as the starter today. He's dealing with his throwing shoulder. I'm willing to say that he is not going to be 100% in this spot. I have the Eagles as 2.5 to 3-point favorites when I run my numbers in this spot. I think the market is really sold on the Eagles. I'm not high on them long term, and I actually thought I had them lower than a lot of the market. But I can't get to under a field goal here, especially if Carson Wentz is any way, shape, or form a little bit less than 100% with his throwing shoulder. The weapons on the outside and Addison Jefferson are a concern, but this is a spot where you should expect the Eagles to come out and play one of their better games of the season, expecting to get some health back on the defensive side of the ball for the Eagles here as well. This is a huge game for Philadelphia. I think they come out and they take care of business in Minnesota. I'm happy to lay the 1.5. I'd lay it up to 2.5.
Okay, let's get to the big game on Sunday night between the 49ers and the Falcons. Here's the news that just came down moments ago. Brock Purdy ruled out. Ricky Pearsall, it's official. He's also out of this game. You like a couple of different bets involving the Falcons, yeah?
Yeah, I'm all over the Falcons here. We'll start out with just a prop because it gets into the handicap on the full game as well. Fred Warner is a huge loss for this defense, and no one can deny that one. Obviously, without Bosa, the pass rush was affected. Warner was the number one linebacker graded out by PFF in the NFL, full stop. Not just on this 49ers team, but he was huge in the run stop, huge in coverage. That's going to be a big problem for a San Francisco team that struggled against the run last year, is entrusting their run stop unit now to rookies on that side of the football. I'm not sure how this San Francisco team consistently gets stops on the defensive side. I think Bijan Robinson goes absolutely nuts. It's another game where you should expect the Falcons to try and run the football. His prop sitting at 80.5, 81.5. I'm going to go toward the over here. I think he has a shot for another 100-yard game, and his explosive plays should be a big problem here for this 49ers defense that just lost their best run defender, their green dot defender. I think this is a great spot for Atlanta. I also took them on the money line. I don't see how they score or how San Francisco is able to keep up with this Atlanta team. This is already a defense I was down on in San Francisco before the Warner loss. Now you're losing that really your leader inside that defense. You're left with one player who I think is above the average grade there in Lenore at the cornerback position. But this is a Falcons offense that I thought looked awesome on Monday night. We got to see Drake London get going. We saw Penix, when he is not pressured, be able to successfully distribute the ball to his set of wide receivers. He's not going to get pressured in this game against San Francisco. They have one of the lowest pressure rates since they lost Bosa. Now they're losing Warner. This is a spot where Bijan and Algier should be able to run all over them, and you should have effectiveness in the passing game due to the lack of pass rush. So I love the Falcons here. I took them on the money line, and I started them out in a teaser as well. Since they're sitting at plus 2.5, you can take them up to 8.5. And the team that I decided to pair them up with was the Colts. You can catch the Colts at plus 7.5 when you tease them up 6 points here. I like the Chargers. I think I'm slightly higher than the market on the Chargers, and I don't love this Colts defense. But that being said, this Colts offense should legitimately be a top 5 offense for the entire season based on what we have seen from the hierarchy and their ability at each of the position groups. This is a top 5 offensive line. Tyler Warren is an absolutely legit wide receiver 1/tight end 1, whatever you want to call it. They're going to be able to scheme it up for him to be able to get open on the outside. You got Pierce, you've got Pittman Jr. out there, and then you've got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. I don't see the Chargers being able to keep the Colts offense down. And if that is the case, even though I think the Colts defense is overrated at this point, currently number 7 in the DVOA, I do think you're going to see a game where this stays within one score, where the Colts can answer anytime the Chargers are able to score. And I do have concerns around this Chargers offensive line, which has been just absolutely decimated over the last 3 or 4 weeks after losing their left tackle in the offseason as well. So I'll go ahead and I'll team up the Falcons plus the 8.5 with the Colts plus 8.5 as a two-team 6-point teaser.
You've been on this team since day one. Every game has gone under except one. That's when they played Baltimore, who can't stop anything. What do you think of Monday night, Houston-Seattle total?
I think you got to go back to the well here. We got to go back to the under. It's funny that people kind of forgot that the Houston Texans still can't score points. Now, you had that game against Baltimore that you referenced. They put up 44. Baltimore was playing their JV squad on defense. That's the only reason that this Houston team was able to be effective offensively. We saw Woody Marks have a good game there. We saw Nico Collins get going in the passing game as well. This Seattle defense is a very different animal than what Houston was facing when they took on that shell of the Baltimore defense. Seattle has an awesome defensive line. They're able to absolutely stop the run, which is going to put a ton of pressure on this passing attack for the Texans, one that has not been effective in every single game except for that game against Baltimore. You can expect consistent pressure up the middle from this Seattle Seahawks defensive front. If that's the case, it's going to make C.J. Stroud's life absolutely difficult. And you flip it around, and one of the reasons I love these unders on the Texans side, they've got a really good defense. They're going to put pressure on Sam Darnold with their 2 edge rushers. You've got multiple cornerbacks that can line up across from JSN and try and slow him down, something that no one has been able to do yet. And you've got a team that is a little bit weaker against the run in Houston, which I like as well. It feels like Seattle's going to try and grind this game out. You're going to see a lot of Kenneth Walker. You're going to see a lot of Charbonnet. You're going to see them want to dominate the game on the ground and with their defense, just like we saw last week when they were facing Jacksonville in Jacksonville. I think it's a great spot to look at the under here. You can still get a 41 out in the market. There's a 41.5 available. I'll take the under 41.5 here. And kind of on that same note, Nick Chubb's prop is sitting at 36.5 yards on the rushing side. I want to look to the under here. This is a Seattle team that's been top 2 in every defensive run metric that we've seen all season long. Again, that the 2 D tackles are absolute dudes for this Seattle team. They're going to make it really difficult for a guy like Nick Chubb to be able to gain yards up the middle, which means he's got to go outside. That is not his strength. That's Woody Marks' strength. And that's the other piece of this, is that we're coming off the bye. And we saw with Luther Burden, he got more run with the Bears off the bye as a rookie. We saw with Matthew Golden, he gets more run with the Packers off the bye. These rookies start getting inserted more and more in these offensive game plans off the bye. I think Marks seriously eats into Chubb's workload on Monday night as well, because he is the more explosive running back for this Texans team, which needs to find explosive plays. So combining the fact that you've got Chubb facing a very good interior of the defensive line, and on top of that, you also have Woody Marks, who I think takes away carries from him. I'm happy to get in on under 34.5 rush yards for Nick Chubb, who just doesn't have explosive plays in him anymore.
It's the highest total between Washington and Dallas since 1980. We're at 54.5. What do you think happens from what Washington does offensively, even though they're dealing with some injuries?
Look, this is one of those spots where, like, I do think that both of these teams move the football. The look ahead on this was 51.5. We reopened at 52.5. That thing shot right up. We got as high as 55 in the market before it came back down, and it makes total sense, right? This is a Dallas team that can effectively move the football against pretty much any defense after what they saw to Green Bay, and it's a Washington team that is able to counter and has the weapons to be able to do so. To me, I want to look at Jaden Daniels here, because his passing yard prop seems drastically too low against a Dallas Cowboys team that has been a little bit better against the run and been absolutely atrocious against the pass. This is a Commanders team that's going to look to throw the football. If it turns into a shootout, all the better for taking Daniels over passing yards prop. He's sitting at 231.5. I love him over that number. That feels way too low in a game we're expecting 54 points. On top of it, you can go 300 yards or more at plus 380 as well. So I'm all over Jaden Daniels. I think he has a big game against this Cowboys secondary that made Russell Wilson look like a Hall of Famer, made Caleb Williams get right. Like, let's not forget how bad this Cowboys secondary has been in past weeks.
Well said. So McLaurin is officially out. That came down today. Who do you think? Do you have an opinion on who's going to eat in the air when Daniels racks up all these passing yards?
If I wanted to get a little crazy here, you want to play a little same game action, it's Luke McCaffrey for me is the wide receiver that I want to target. I mean, I understand Deebo Samuels is there, but he doesn't really take the top off defenses that we've seen in the past. The one thing we've seen this Dallas defense struggle consistently is stopping the deep ball. I think that Luke McCaffrey is the wide receiver that can stretch the field, like his longest reception over. If you want to ladder his reception yards and put it with Daniel's 300, I think that makes a lot of sense because you're going to need 1 or 2 shots down the field for Daniels to get to 300 anyway, and Luke McCaffrey, the most likely recipient of those shots. Very good.
Do you have a horse that you want to bet on here coming up this afternoon for everybody?
I thought that you were going to mention that. So let's look to the 10th race at Keeneland here. We're about 38 minutes to post. I like the number 8 horse, Chato, on the outside, or the number 12 horse, I'm sorry, Chato on the outside, 8-1 on the morning line. So we're looking at race number 10, Keeneland, 38 minutes away. Horse number 12, Chato, 8-1 on the morning line.
Love it. Mike, love talking to you every single Friday. Love the podcast. Love the shows that you do on the weekends with Matt Brown as well. Thank you for the time. Pleasure talking to you, and best of luck this weekend.
I appreciate it, guys. Good luck this weekend. Hopefully we can all get these Dodgers bets home. I'm on the Dodgers train with you there.
Yeah, very good. Nice. And again, Ready, Set, Bet, Saturday and Sundays. And the contest show is at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, with Derek Stevens, Jeff Benson. Are we going to have 20 teams selected again in Circus Survivor?
Probably.
Why not, huh?
Yeah.
How many no picks?
6.
More of the Week 7 slate coming up next. We got to find out what Pauly's Giants source is telling us this week. And there's a lot to like with their young defense, but wide receivers have killed this team this year.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Thanks for checking in here on a Football Friday, watching on YouTube TV, listening on Sirius XM Channel 158, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or any of our stellar affiliates across the country. We'll get to your Giant source and what you're hearing this week. He nailed it, or they nailed it. I don't know who your source is. With Wan'Dale Robinson last week on Thursday Night Football, right? They're going to feed him early and often. Got there with a touchdown. But first, let's begin Saints-Bears. Are you how skittish are you on using the Bears like this week? Survivor, betting them, laying the points, anything here? Are you a little frightened to death like I am?
It's going to be popular, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But I think you have to trust Johnson and trust where the Bears are at. That they've gone over their team total in every game, and looks like they're getting better every week. So you got to check the injury report, but if they take care of the ball, I think they should win. And they should get off to a hot start. And also the first quarter be the way to attack this. The Saints are 0-6 ATS in the first quarter. They've been outscored 65-16. And Johnson, how he draws it up, scripting those first 15 plays, how dangerous the Bears have been on their opening drive.
No, that was a winner on Monday night. Bears plus a half a point in the first quarter. You know what? I'll look right now. Because did you see a first quarter number in the game?
Yes. It's funny. Caesars was that's the only thing they didn't have up. So let me know what you see.
Okay.
They had first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter of every game except the first quarter of the Bears game.
Well, they've been pretty good scoring all those points in the first quarter. And again, that was another winner for them against Washington on Monday night. Here, I'll try to get it briefly, but that's pretty bad. All those numbers that you talked about with the Saints. Now, they're still remaining in these games, by the way. So is that a live betting opportunity here with the Saints? Don't take the 4.5.
Why is that not up? The total's up. Look at this. It's the only thing that's not listed. Why is that not on there?
I got it. It's minus 1.5 at some spots, minus 0.5 at other spots. Bears in the first quarter.
Okay, yeah.
But so the theory here then, Bears are good at starting games. Saints stink.
Yep.
But Saints have been feisty pretty much the entire year.
Yeah.
So don't take the Saints plus the points before the game. Wait until they fall behind in the first quarter, then bet them live.
Yeah.
And I'll give you this too. Now this is going to be a weather game the way it appears. The Saints have allowed 14 passing touchdowns on the year, second most in the league. There's also this. They've allowed the fourth most rushing yards to quarterbacks. But your guy, Caleb Williams, now not exactly getting it done on the ground. In week 1 against Minnesota, he had 58 on a score. In week 2, he had 27 yards, Pauly. But since then, 12, 13, and -2 yards rushing.
Yep. This is a small sample, but he's been bad on short rest. But I think that's more factored in with the coaching staff last year and how bad they've been. 15 points per game and 0-4 straight up. Mm-hmm. But that I take with a grain of salt because you got a good coach in charge, and it's not a circus this year.
Okay, here
but
we
it's
go.
a big game though. But certainly I know why Bears fans are concerned because certainly you could be thinking playoffs or a winning record, or you win this game.
Sure. So one of the first bets I made this week, I took the Giants plus a 7 against the Broncos. Broncos are back from playing over in London. That wasn't the reason why I took it, although it certainly, I think, maybe potentially here helps New York on that side. But also, I kind of like the way that they're playing. Their defense is becoming a problem, and you had to really like what you saw with the offense against the Philadelphia Eagles. But now this is an entirely different story here with the Broncos and this defense because they're so good.
Right.
What are you hearing here with the Giants?
This is a great game, and this is really a good test to see where Dart's at, and if these kids can do it again with Scatterboo. So Denver, number 1 in sacks and pressure rate, third down defense, red zone defense, 6-0 run against the NFC, ATS, number 2 scoring defense. I don't think they're going to get the ball to Robinson. I don't think he's going to get open. And you can't run the ball as a quarterback on this Denver defense. It's a Scatterboo game. Through the air, dump-offs, and on the ground. It's all about Scatterboo. That's the only way they think they're going to be able to move the ball here. And he's going to be the whole key to the offense and what they do.
His receptions prop is 2.5.
Yep. I saw how low it is. I couldn't believe it, yes. But it's going to be a big Scatterboo game.
So some more numbers to back that up. First of all, Sean Payton, very good as an offensive coach. Like, it really pisses him off when they have a bad game. He's 22-8 ATS when scoring 14 points or fewer in a game. So they get it fixed the next week, right? They figure it out. To your point about how the Broncos have been phenomenal at neutralizing mobile quarterbacks, opposing QBs on the year have 20 rushing attempts against Denver for 46 yards. I bet Dart under 38.5. It was as high as 40.5 earlier today. It's still coming down. Some books have 35.5. In 6 games played, the Denver defense has allowed 4 passing touchdowns. That's it. Second best mark behind the Texans, and Houston's only played 5 games. The Broncos defense has only allowed 1 rushing touchdown to backs on the year, and the defense has only allowed 1 receiving touchdowns to wide receivers the entire year. That is the fewest mark in the entire league. So they are just on every single level here with the defense. Really, really good. So I get it. Like, there's no neighbors, obviously.
Probably an under, the more I think about it. And if you want to tease it, this is incredible from Evan Abrams. Nix is 22-2 in his career on a 6-point teaser.
What?
Yeah. Doesn't get blown out.
Wow, okay.
But here I'm asking him, I win the game. Or, he's also awesome as a favorite. So doesn't lose as a favorite or get blown out when he's a dog.
All right, let me pay off the tease here, too. The Giants defense is the one I was talking about before the break because they have so far on the year to date the second most receptions to wide receivers and the second most yards. And they've only played 6 games compared to 7 of the Steelers. Pittsburgh is the only team ahead of them for worse numbers. Total receptions and yards allowed to the wide receiver position. Uh-huh. Is it a Cortland Sutton game here for Denver?
I don't know. That one's tough. I just think you're right with the Peyton's going to be so ticked off, but I don't know what to do with Nix. It either looks great or looks awful. There's no in between.
Yeah, I think it's a Sutton game. I'm not betting yet, but that's the guy that I think it's good.
Right. Well, the other thing is what happens in the offensive rookie of the year market if one of these guys goes off. Like if Dart looks good and they win this game, oh God.
Well, then you can kiss the number right. What is it now? Like even money?
Yeah. Forget they don't even win the game, but he looks good and they move the ball.
Huh?
And the same thing, I still think the Scatterboo numbers are outrageous. To me, he should be right there where Dart is, and it should be flipped. Because while Dart was great last week, this guy had 3 touchdowns. And Dart only had 111 yards passing in the win against the Chargers, which 1 touchdown was set up by the interception, which became a 1st and goal.
Right.
But
Paul, I'm right there with you. On a recent podcast edition of Pod of the Futures with JVT and me, we said that if you don't have anybody in that market, right, offensive winning rookie of the year, if you want to hop in, the guy to grab is Scatterboo. He was still 28-1 during the Eagles game when he was scoring his 2nd touchdown.
I don't get it.
Neither do I.
Yep. I think there's value on him, too. And I like to see the big boy have a big game. Put your shoulder down, kick some ass, take some names, like he did. Runs angry.
We just talked about this Commanders-Cowboys game. with Mike Somich, and he made a case for Daniels, obviously, because of this porous Cowboys defense, to go over the passing yards prop, but also a nice plus price at 300-plus yards in this game. I mean, it is hideous. Look away. They allow 286.5 passing yards per game.
Yeah.
The Cowboys have allowed 15 passing touchdowns. They only have 2 INTs. There's no Diggs now. He's been ruled out as well. But it's like every single position that you can do whatever you want against the Cowboys defense.
Look at the move now. Dallas favored. Because not only is McLaurin out, but now Ertz is questionable and Debo's banged up. The season get away from Washington here in a hurry.
Oh, big time.
That was a bad loss Monday night. You gave the game away. And I don't know why Aikman's taking heat either. He's right. That dump off to Swift was a horrible job by Washington not knocking him out of bounds. The dump off that went for 55 yards.
I did not know that he was taking heat for that.
Well, because he called it lucky. And
it was.
Saying, I know. Williams and so because Williams tweeted, "Well, what a lucky win." I guess. I mean, it's ridiculous. Okay. Anyways, but that's suddenly I like this team and their coaching staff, but the season's going to go south here if you find a way you can't come out of here with a win now as well.
Yeah.
But it's wild that with the CeeDee Lamb news also that Dallas has become the favorite, and they see how high the total is. I mentioned earlier. Highest since 1980 between these teams.
I agree with Somich again. One more thing here, because he brought up, I asked him who's going to eat then if Daniels throws for all these yards, and he said McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Again, wide receivers have amassed 1,027 yards, just the wide receiver position against the Cowboys, and 12 touchdowns. Wide receivers are averaging 2 touchdowns per game against this team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is absolutely rock bottom.
Right. And Pickens has been great, so I don't know what to do with his props with Lamb back, but I probably got to go back with Ferguson, at least receptions. With 44 catches on the year. Dak has owned Washington. 11-2 runs straight up against them. Think you know sports? It's time to get paid for it. Better Picks, the daily fantasy app where your sports knowledge turns into real cash fast. Download the Better app. Pick more or less on your favorite player's stats. And if your pick hits, you win. New users get free money just for signing up. No deposit required. And when you do deposit, 50% deposit match up to $200. NBA Tuesday. Hockey season here. Soccer, UFC, golf, whatever you want. Download Better in the app or Google Play Store. Promo code VSiN for your free money and deposit bonus today.
Well, this is going to be a lot of fun coming up next because a longtime friend of the show, Cleveland legend on ESPN Radio in Cleveland, Tony Rizzo is going to join the program. If you missed it earlier in the first hour of the show, we played his rant earlier today. Watching that team trade Joe Flacco to a team in the division, and he went nuts last night against the Steelers. What was his reaction watching the game last night? We'll ask him coming up next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
I love our next guest, longtime friend of the show, legend in the city of Cleveland, the factory of sadness, as I think everybody felt it again last night, even though they weren't even playing in the game, as the great Tony Rizzo joins the program now. T-Riz, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. We played your rant a little bit earlier. I mean, what were you feeling last night when you were watching Flacco go nuts?
I couldn't go to bed. You didn't play, and you took an L. How is that even possible? You don't trade with division rivals, and you certainly don't give them a quarterback. Why the Browns want to do people favors? They built the Texans team, for God's sake. Why they want to do people favors, I have no idea. That was as I said, a fireable offense. The Browns had never traded with the Bengals. You know this story. Paul Brown got fired by Art Modell. He started his own team. Those two teams hate each other worse than even the Steelers and Browns. Come on.
So the part that pisses you off the most, obviously, because I think we can all agree on this, right? It was never going to pop like that in the Cleveland offense. Maybe you think I'm wrong with that, but it's just the fact. If you want to trade the guy, fine. But Jesus, man, not inside our division.
Yeah, but guys, the Cleveland offense is the whole problem. Guys, their offense right now is as bad as I've ever seen. Stefanski's lost his way as a play caller and a game planner. He threw 70 times in Pittsburgh with a rookie quarterback. We're worried that they're not going to run the ball. So weather Sunday, supposed to be rain, wind. I don't think it'll be as bad as everybody says. Okay, and that stadium's not the old stadium. It'll be bad. Okay, it'll be a factor, but I don't think it'll be the factor everybody thinks it'll be 50-mile-an-hour gusts. I don't see that. And it looks like the bad stuff's coming later in the day is the latest. So just FYI to all the sharps out there. The weather will be a factor, but not that big of a factor. The biggest factor is the Browns' offense stinks. They don't have any wide receivers. Do you know in Andrew Berry's tenure, he has drafted 2 pass catchers in the first 2 rounds. I'm sorry, 2 offensive players in the first 2 rounds. And one of them was Judkins this year. The last receiver that they drafted in the first round was David Njoku in 2017. Jerry Jeudy's been a bust this year. You got the kid from Texas who hasn't been able to do anything. Jamari Thrash. You have no wide receivers. Did you see what Flacco did with those 2 wide receivers last night? That's never going to happen here in Cleveland. The big concern here is Stefanski has lost his way with the offense. It's terrible.
Yeah. Terrible. So if you nail this, and the last time you were on, you blew our mind because you just say, well, get ready because it'll be Sanders, and then they could even go back to Watson, and then rest assured they're going to draft a quarterback. Go ahead.
Oh, the guys, that's all coming. Hey, guys, don't forget. This is Dylan Gabriel's first home game Sunday. He hasn't been home, and he's running the worst offense in the league. What do you think? First quarter? First pick? First incompletion? Shador Sanders? No. Oh, my God. If the Browns lose, they're favored. Now, Mitch, I know you like them, and they should win, but we're just so spooked by what we have seen with this offense. One thing Miami could do is score. I know the Browns' defense is good, but the Browns can't score, Mitch. They can't. And if Miami puts up 20, that might be too many. That's where we're at with this game.
Where's the angle here? Weather's not going to be as bad as people think. But during the game, realistically, how strong are the winds going to be in your opinion? Because that could really impact the Dolphins' passing game.
Yeah, 25-30. So you have 2. By the way, this is some weird stat we laughed about. First time 2 Hawaiian left-handed quarterbacks have ever started against each other in the NFL. I can't make this stuff up, guys. Okay, I love it. Okay, so they're both, the kid, Gabriel said he liked throwing in the cold weather, and the Browns drafted him. Okay, whatever. Okay.
Oh, God.
You guys, you can't make it up. So, no. But that's going to be a factor. I would think they would run the ball, but I don't know. Last week in Pittsburgh, they did. Quinshon Judkins is the real deal. He is a dog. He is maybe the next Nick Chubb. Not ready to crown him yet, but he looks really good so far. Didn't run him last week. Are they going to run him Sunday? It's supposed to rain. It's supposed to be 25-mile-an-hour winds. I don't know. I can't predict this offense. Stefanski, guys, we're shocked. We all thought going back to Stefanski's offense was going to be fantastic. It's been a disaster.
Yep, is what you're talking about. Yeah, 11 games in a row, 17 points or fewer. So to me, it's just...
How is that possible, Paul?
I don't know. In today's NFL, I know. Just get the ball to Fannin, though. Short stuff to Fannin, run the ball to Judkins. That's got to be the game plan on Sunday. So how loud is it then? You briefly touched on it. How loud is it then if they lose or they win like 13-10 if it's got to put... Because I know you were yelling at your co-host there, Tony, about you got to put Sanders in. It's enough already. Let's see if the kid can play.
I could argue he's the best quarterback on the roster, and he hasn't played against the ones in 14 weeks. Guys, think about that. Guys, hold on. They signed Pickett. They traded him. They signed Flacco. They traded him. They reached for Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round. You guys saw Dylan Gabriel. God love the kid. Tough kid. Got a nice arm. He's a good backup in the league. He doesn't look like a franchise quarterback. Yeah. I don't know how anyone in this offense could look like a franchise quarterback, but whatever. Sanders. He's sitting around twiddling his thumbs. Throw him in. What have you got to lose? And by the way, I'll make this prediction. I don't know if you can get this maybe offshore. I think Deshaun Watson is going to start a game this year for the Browns.
Oh, man. Yep. I'm sure that's available.
Well, you're paying him $40 million, and he's healthy. I don't know. We'll say it would be a last resort, and I'm not guaranteeing it. I wouldn't, it's pizza money, but it's the Browns. Who knows? Well, so they have this week Dolphins and next week Patriots, and then the bye. So if they lose bad Sunday, it'll get really ugly. But I don't think they would do anything with Stefanski. I think they'd probably wait till the bye. I don't think it makes sense to fire a coach a week before a bye. I don't know, though. I'm hearing Haslam he got his stadium stuff squared away, and he's now concentrating more on the team, and he feels a lot like me. He's very frustrated.
Well, I got news for you, Tony, and I'm backing this up with a lot of my hard-earned money. You're going to be smiling doing the post-game stuff on Sunday and also on Monday on your show because there is no way the Dolphins are going to go to Cleveland. Wow. I say no way, tongue-in-cheek. They're not winning that game. The Browns are winning this game. They have an elite defense. Tua and the infighting, I mean, they've had to apologize 6 times this week. He called them out. Yeah. McDaniel said, what the hell are you doing? Not the spot. They are down Tyreek Hill. This offense is absolutely broken. You expect this warm weather team from South Beach, who has struggled the entire time on the road in like weird, inclement weather with Tua as the quarterback, to go to Cleveland and beat this defense? And they can't stop the run to save their lives? This is Junkins, baby, all day long, and the Browns are going to dance all over this team on Sunday.
Well, Mitch, we're hoping Stefanski will do that. He once threw the ball 50 times in a 5-degree game against the Saints 2 years ago, and that's a true story. I agree with you, and that should be the game plan, but we have to see it. Taking a rookie quarterback to Pittsburgh last week and throwing the ball 58 times, Mitch, how is that even possible?
Yeah, I agree with that part.
Well said, my man. Quickly, season starts Tuesday. What do you think of the Cavs?
Can't start fast enough. So my bet is I agree with Cavs most wins in the East. I don't think the seed means as much to them as it did last year. They're not going to start 15-0. They have 2 starters out, by the way. Mm-hmm. Okay, Garland and Strus out of the 5, but they're very deep. And I think that second-year Atkinson will be really good. And I like the Cavs. I like them a lot. And I'm taking a trip in June, but I'm going to be back in time for the finals because we really think that the Cavs could be there this year. High expectations, yeah.
What could go wrong with the Cleveland sports team?
Oh, come on, man. Stop. Come on.
Hey,
boys, I'll see you. By the way, I'll be there for the Vegas game a month.
Okay, very good.
I'll see you.
That's a hot ticket.
Yes, big time. We all felt the pain, man, on your rant today. We all felt the hurt inside.
Guys, I'm going to be 65 next year. Like, I know I certainly don't look that old. Har, har, har. But you know me. It takes a lot out of you, man. It takes courage to be a Browns fan, boys.
Yes, courage. Well said.
All right.
See you soon. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, fellas.
We only played 50 seconds of it. He said it went on for 20 minutes, and I understand. I understand. He's got all the material. He's seen it all. He's seen the drive. He's seen the Biner fumble, and now you can add this one to the list. You help out another team. You helped out the Texans, and now you helped out the Bengals. At least you gave the Bengals life and a chance with Flacco fever. And like he said, Tomlin knew. Tomlin made the comments. I don't know what Andrew Barry's doing, but it's and then Flacco lights him up. So, I mean, this is wild. I mean, it sounds like another quarterback change or 2, and maybe Stefanski gone during the bye week. You listen to him.
Well, I hope that he's absolutely dead wrong because it's my biggest bet of the entire year to date in the NFL. I love the Browns on Sunday. Love them.
That's a problem, though. They're concerned that the coach won't run the ball in the cold weather with the rookie quarterback.
Yeah, we don't need to see that. Right? Like the table is set. They can't stop the run.
Yes.
You know what the recipe here is.
Yes.
Upset alert in college football coming up next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we will dive into the 2 Major League Baseball playoff games that we have on a Friday night docket, which I absolutely love. ALCS starts in about 23 minutes, and the Blue Jays, well, they've already turned this series upside down. Now they can take what would be a commanding 3-2 lead, going back to Toronto with a win tonight. They are now very small favorites on the road here with Gausman taking on Miller. And we'll talk about the NLCS MVP market as well, because I have a question. If the Dodgers win tonight in a low-scoring game and nobody at the top of the lineup goes nuts, they win it, in 4 games. Like, who's the MVP? Can Snell get it for setting the tone and that great start in game 1 despite not getting a second appearance? I'm not so sure.
How was Ohtani the second choice with 2 hits?
Well, it's ridiculous.
That is.
It's probably,
unless they think he's going to throw a gem tonight, maybe could go deep. But
that's probably.
But still, it's 3-0 in the series.
I'm guessing the thought is if they offer 5-1, 6-1, whatever that number is, and he strikes out 10 tonight, hits a home run, then he's going to be the MVP. And they don't want to take any last-minute bets on it, probably.
Sometimes there's not an MVP. Like, it's the whole team.
Okay.
So when every guy comes out and just throws an incredible game, I mean, this is like, what was it, the 96 Braves who did it like 5 games in a row?
That's right.
But you're giving up 1 run or fewer in every game, and they can't hit. So it's all you need is one guy to come up with a timely hit, and that's it.
Now, do you think that the Miami Hurricanes are on upset alert tonight, taking on Louisville?
Yeah, I'm not the only one. Look at this. It's 10.5 now at DraftKings.
Yeah.
So all the talk about you get 14, wait for 14. Wait for 10.5 now. And there's between, I don't want all these bye weeks when I'm playing well. And so another bye week, and now Brahm's been great in this spot, and weird stuff happens on Friday nights. I think I have Miami on upset alert tonight, and this would really shake things up, not only in the ACC, but around the rest of the country.
Well, this would absolutely throw the rest of the country for an entire loop, right? Because then you're going to start to look, oh, my God, that's a bad look. Louisville's actually pretty decent. They're not amazing, but then you're going to look at Miami's schedule and say, well, if they lose that game and if they don't win the ACC title, then they're going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah, if they win, I mean, it's set up for them because SMU's not what we thought.
Right.
But you're looking at this, and Louisville would be favored, I think, in 6 of their last 7 games.
Sure.
So if they can get one here and shock the world, then there's a path for Louisville to get in there, and then it becomes interesting with Miami. But they got to be careful tonight.
My fake cousin, Miller Moss, quarterback for Louisville, not exactly repeating the year that he had last year for USC. LSU is at Vandy. Vandy down to a 2-point favorite in this game. I'm actually seeing 1.5 right now on the board as well. Do you think LSU, this would be obviously a very tiny upset, if one at all. Do you think LSU is going to go there and win, or do you like the other side?
No. Well, I'm with everyone else with the under. LSU hasn't allowed more than 10 points. They've only allowed more than 10 points in one game. I just don't trust their offense, and also the schedule that they have coming up as well. So I don't think this playoff thing's going to happen. But that's nuts what Brad Powers said yesterday. First time since 1948, Vandy's favored against LSU.
Who was keeping the books back then?
No kidding. Bruce Marshall, probably. And then Bruce. And then also goes back to when the last time they were favored over a ranked opponent as well. So I think Vandy gets it done. And you throw Nussmeier into that mix of all these guys, Aller, Nussmeier, Sellers, all these quarterbacks who are supposed to be so good. They've been major disappointments.
I would agree. Now, you brought up Sellers there, though. I got to tell you, in the Westgate College contest, I'm on South Carolina. Took 5.5 against Oklahoma.
Yeah, but the injury,
sure.
That's got to concern you with how bad they played last week.
And now I'm seeing a lot of books down to 4.5. Here's the thing, right? Oklahoma's perfect to the under, 6-0. We're expecting a low-scoring game here, 42.5. Mateer looked like he was weeks away from being weeks away in that game against Texas. So I can grab 5.5 in the contest with a low-scoring game against a quarterback who is compromised. Okay, I had to do it.
Okay. How about tonight? What a card tonight. 2 baseball games. So we met Reese before the show. Reese is from the Omaha area. He said Nebraska hasn't won back-to-back road games since 2006. Is that right?
Yeah, I got a text.
That's strong, Reese. So between the Penn State stuff with Rule, and I asked him, he still thinks Rule will stay put, but maybe roll the boats, could shock the world here, +7 with a mini upset.
Yeah, here you go. This is from my lunatic Minnesota season ticket holder, buddy.
Right.
If Nebraska wins, it's going to be the first time in 19 years that Nebraska has won back-to-back road games of any kind.
How can that be?
No, that's the most amazing stat of the day. That's more
impressive than Mahomes 36-2, laying more than a touchdown.
Or that's even more bizarre than Cleveland and their team total not scoring more than 17. What is it now? How many games in a row?
11.
That one's still tough to imagine.
Yeah, right. Okay. And then quickly, how about all the North Carolina money? The Fighting Lombardis down to 7.5 after this whole thing. It's a disaster. He might not even coach the game. Well, This was what, 11, 10? Now it's 7.5.
I say good luck to everybody betting them. They might know something that we don't. I don't want this Carolina team. But you know what was maybe a good thing for them, Paul, is that they had the bye week. rather than like if this game.
I know. I'm with you.
Because all that stuff dropped more than a week ago. It was like Monday or Tuesday of last week. If this team had to go on the road and play cross country against Cal on a Friday night last week, then I'm not so sure. All this stuff out of North Carolina is just so damning.
Yeah, I know. But that I got my eye on that one. See if they can hang on what it looks like. And people are actually betting North Carolina. Can Kiffin do it? I would be concerned if I'm a Georgia fan. Because if you get off to a slow start again and fall behind, this might be it this time. And your luck could run out because Chambliss is so good. Now, that was just a weird performance last week. You almost lost as a 33-point favorite, but they punked them last year. It was a great win, 28-10, what they did.
Oh, I thought my futures on Ole Miss were absolutely live when they beat that team.
They were so impressive in that game. It was the worst loss Georgia had since 2019, so they got revenge on their mind, but I don't think they've been able to put heat or pressure on Chambliss. They were down 10 to Auburn, they were down 14 to Bama, and they were down 14 to Tennessee. Ole Miss hasn't beat them in Athens since 1996. Why is Georgia more than a touchdown, though? I think that's too rich. But it's kind of like what Powers said that, okay, fun story, good soundbite, but you can't take Kiffin seriously when it comes to being a national title contender based on last week and some of the stuff he does.
I don't think last week's performance has anything to do with that, maybe, with the number.
Well, man,
but they're supposed to take out. I mean, they're favored by 33 against Washington State.
Almost lost the game.
Yeah, that would have been, honestly, via the point spread, that would have been one of the biggest upsets in college football history. Let me run this at you. USC catching a lot of points on the road against Notre Dame. If Notre Dame wins this, Pauly, and I don't even think they have to be impressive, but it's USC at Boston College, Navy at home at Pittsburgh, Syracuse at Stanford. Maybe the Pittsburgh game is a hiccup. But do you think that a future bet right now on Notre Dame to win the entire thing at the right number? I would say if you can find 20-1 in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be on the lookout for that.
I think it's wide open. Yeah.
It absolutely is, in my opinion, as well. And when you go back and look at their losses, okay, they lost to Miami late. Miami's really good. They lost to A&M, and I know the defense could get off the field, but if Freeman can have this defense getting better as the season goes on, we're only halfway through the season. Carr's awesome.
Yeah.
This offense is the real deal Holyfield.
4 in a row by 30 points per game. You're right, it has been.
So if you can find, right there, we're showing 16-1 at DraftKings, but I'll search. Maybe because I would definitely bet 20 if that's out there.
All right, I got two. I got the Sun Devils against Texas Tech. Because now more Arizona State money because it looks like Levitt's going to be good to go, and you had a key injury on the defensive line to the Red Raiders, and then the uncertainty of what's going to happen at the quarterback position. And I also have to go with I think Bobby Petrino. Get the motorcycle ready. Let's get the Halloween costumes back. I think Bobby can do this, and Arkansas can take out Texas A&M. They've been awesome offensively, and they've been so close in 3 games. And what happened? I mean, they blew the Memphis game, but then they were right. The offense isn't a problem. How they're scoring. So I think they can get this done maybe and surprise Texas. Say you're not there.
Well, I think they can actually hang. I don't know if they can win the game outright. Well, here's the thing: like if you're going to bet a dog, you kind of got to think they can maybe win it outright. So 7.5 might be a lot of points here. But also, are we going to get a lot of stops in this game?
No, they've given up 32 points at least in 4 games in a row. Look at these scores.
But
41-34. They're right there, right? They're at Ole Miss. They almost won the game. 41-35. They blew the 19-point lead to Memphis, 32-31. The Notre Dame game is what everyone got whacked after that one. And then 34-31 at Tennessee.
No, I think they can be in this game, and I think it's going to go over the total as well.
Yeah.
Do you like Utah as well? Chuck Edel came on earlier. He gave out Utah -3.
I think so, yes.
Right side.
I think he's right. Think sports start getting paid for it. Better Picks, the daily fantasy sports app where your sports knowledge turns into cash. Sign up today, get free money, no deposit needed. When you do deposit, get a 50% deposit match up to $200. Download Better in the app or Google Play Store. Head to better.app, promo code VEASAN for your free money and deposit bonus. Get better today. BETR, better.app.
Do you think Tennessee can beat Alabama on the road?
No.
I don't either.
They won't stop them.
But that's another game that should be a shootout, I think. I think I might look at first quarter or first half over in that spot. Up next, we'll get to the 2 playoff games in Major League Baseball. Again, the ALCS. What a turnaround this has been. We'll get into bets that we like, and I think we're live in the NLCS MVP market as well.